Oh, Captain, till we find where the treasure be. I see beyond the sea. Oh, Captain, till we go on a journey. Follow me, we shall go foreign.
Alright, so this is Elden Ring review. Alright.
Hey people, Seth here. The following is highly
I love this dude's channel.
experimental and may come off as disjointed or schizophrenic. I don't care. Elden Ring, the newest hot release by Hideo Miyazaki of Ghibli Studios, famous for classic animations such as Howl's Moving Mausoleum and My Invader Totoro. From Software have really outdone themselves, as this game features not one, but two crustaceans, possibly even more. Unfortunately,
I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty sure that I've heard at least part of this.
Fortunately, I haven't unlocked the ability to swim, so I cannot confirm or deny that. The game
Oh,
begins, and I make my character. His name? Sambubu. His class, naturally, is wretched. I did originally consider prisoner, but I chose not to. I take the thing as my starting item and live to regret it.
That
after
was a
I
weird
get
picture.
Immediate access to a side dungeon and get run over repeatedly by a speeding train. I chose instead to go the other way. After camping a few times, Melina comes by and offers me an accord. I turn it down because I think it's funny. I then proceed to kill Morgott and Godric before I realize I haven't leveled up. How was I supposed to know I had to say yes? Miyazaki, just because I'm offered the ability to talk to a woman doesn't mean I'm going to take it. I think that's a symptom
Oh no.
of bad design. Conversely, I fell for the oldest trick in a book, the warm embrace of a woman's lap, only to find out 100 hours later it's actually a debuff. What did they mean by this? I guess I'll have to consult a
I have questions on what that means too.
40-minute lore video to figure out the true symbology behind this item description. I tell you, passive storytelling at its very best, especially when half the characters either disappear, die, or start T-posing during your playthrough. This might bother people. People who believe
He's
there's
going
a
for
story,
dominance.
which is the equivalent of finding a bunch of random notes and thinking to yourself, damn, that book was wild. Halo's plot is crazy. Have you not read all the secret terminals? On the bright side, Dark Souls lore channels now have a steady source of bread for the next 4 years. I
This is
assure
true.
you, you'll know every side character better than your own family. I don't remember which war Granddad was fighting, but I do know Patches. I know that, canonically, he is circumcised. Honestly, I don't judge. I still get to have my wife Ronnie. What I'm criticizing is the involvement of this fat fuck. Celebrated offer, helping to weave the narrative experience? Okay, let's see what this dude wrote. Sunset found her squatting in the grass, groaning. Every stool was looser than the one before
Oh my
and
gosh.
smelled fouler. By the time the moon came up, she was
This is
shitting brown
unnecessary.
water. The more she drank,
This is
the
so
more she
unnecessary.
Shat, but the more she shat, the thirstier she grew, and her thirst sent her crawling to the stream to suck up more water. I rest my case. J.R.R. Martin is the greatest author who has ever lived. He has also never finished his books. And so, fittingly, From Software has embodied the spirit of J.R.R. Martin by
Why?
never finishing a single quest
I felt
line.
like he did
Elden
not
Ring
have
is an
to.
ambitious platformer, and if you disagree, you haven't played the game, because half this game is jumping with a head start, or falling into a hole, into a canyon, into the place you originally wanted to, but accidentally jumped before doing so, adding an extra foot to the height of your fall, which turned it into a lethal descent. There's nothing I love more than jumping awkwardly off rooftops, but how do we spice it up? Archers. You love archers. They're on every roof, and they've got tracking. And guess what? The sewer levels are back, and this time, they're essential to the
Oh
plot.
gosh.
Yeah, I'm thinking game of the year. Calling the mountain your game, Torrent. Absolute genius. So, anybody Googling Elden Ring Torrent gets a bunch of horse pictures instead. I can't wait until Elden Ring 2
Why?
features the popular and beloved character,
Why?
Codex de Nuvo, pre-cracked no virus. But, why are we here?
Oh, dude. Oh, wait. I gotta take another screenshot.
We're here for the difficulty because we're hardcore gamers. Take it from me. I've already beaten the final boss, John Elden Ring, so I can give a few pointers. Have you ever used a weapon, armor, fast travel, potions, or opened the world map? I'm sorry to say, but you're playing the game wrong. This game is meant to be played level 1 as a wretch, using a single club, no upgrades. If you disagree, I'll call you a casual. If you ever hear someone talking like this, take pity on them because this behavior is characteristic of someone who stacks no paper and gets no bitches. This game
Oh,
is
gosh.
hard. Not because it's not hard, but because
Rough.
video games fundamentally aren't hard. You know what's hard? The circumstances of life, getting a degree, having a stable family, being born with a...
I'm so done with that. Like, dude, seriously? Seriously? I'm not sure that pun was necessary.
baby arm. You're born and one arm develops normally into an adult arm, but the other is this stunted mini child arm, which stops growing at like 3 years of age. So you're this freakish monstrosity. You'll be known around town as Baby Arm Man, and the only job you'll ever have is baby arm stock photo, because it's harder for them to get a kid to pose for that. It's a lot more convenient to have a malformed monstrosity on standby. Furthermore, I genuinely believe that pattern recognition is a form of cheating. Your Homo sapiens brain is literally destroying the difficulty of the experience by compensatory adaptation. I hope that people consider this in the future and
J-Boy
later learn to
suggested this.
recognize that the truest From Software experience would be
it's
a
Seth.
lobotomite run, where
His,
while at the
Elden
plane,
Ring
we
review.
perform a frontal lobotomy and sever your prefrontal cortex. Sometimes the only option you have to preserve the purity of your experience is brain damage. Multiplayer enhances the experience.
Harsh.
Sometimes you'll see white phantoms briefly appear. These are players from other worlds going through their own journey. Once, I saw a white phantom appear, teabagging a dead NPC. In this moment, I knew I was playing a masterpiece. Messages and appraisal are exactly how Reddit users believe karma works.
Oh, no.
You upvote, and you get actual physical nourishment from the karma. Oh, look, a message on the floor. Maybe someone out there will tell me something useful. Then you open it and read it, only to see dog butthole, closely followed by Fortnite, according to a...
At least it wasn't Tri-Finger Butthole.
True story. Once upon a time, Miyazaki's car broke down in the middle of the road. This was during winter, so no help was to be found. When suddenly, 3 strangers appeared out of nowhere, sucked him off, and left without even saying a word. And that's how Miyazaki got the inspiration for Souls multiplayer. Gameplay, flawless, stunning, effervescent. Just like Bloodborne was a complex allegory for sexually transmitted HIV,
okay.
Elden Ring is a rich synesthesia between seeing Swampland and remembering Blighttown, or hearing Leyendell long after you've left the capital, because my ears are still ringing from the sound of those fucking trumpets. Actual real critique. No jokes, no giggles. I think every boss should have a stake of America outside the boss room. Generally, this is true, but sometimes I gotta walk, and traditionally I do not consider cardio as part of a boss fight. Now, the walks are more generous than any other Souls game, but just because somebody chose to take a smaller shit in my rice doesn't change the fact that it's still there. Inside my bowl, steaming up my Tupperware. I would also have
Oh my
originally
gosh.
said that the death screen is quite
Gross.
wrong, but then I realized it's working as intended. You see, when you die in PvP, you have no option but to watch helplessly as someone spams point down and repeatedly defiles your dead body. My complaints are
There wasn't
pretty
even a
mild.
body
If,
there
like
anymore.
Me, you didn't realize Vigor has a non-linear scaling, it would have helped immensely to know that going 10 to 20 makes no tangible difference, but 20 to 40 is all the difference between taking a blow and getting one-tapped by most of the game. I wish I knew that at the start. Luckily, this game is very generous with its ability to reroll
That's
your
a
character.
big old chess
if you're
piece.
still paranoid, you can back up your save at no risk. I've done this more than 100 times without issue, and recommend you do the same, because despite what anybody says, there's a million ways to brick your save. I've done it, I can reproduce it, it's still there. Also,
no.
easy anti-cheat is a very good anti-cheat because it's very easy to turn off. My friend may have done exactly that, and more. Tell me, Seth, was he punished? Is he banned? No, some of the later fights have interesting hitboxes. Not like I care. I cheesed through that shit. This game makes you realize the greatest companion you'll ever have is yourself. So why not make a
No, the greatest companion you'll ever have is let me solo her.
copy. Lore. Before continuing, we have to stop and talk about the best character in the game. Dung Eater. Loathsome. Dung Eater. Ferocious. Feaster of feces. Devious. Doo-doo devourer. Dung Eater. Consumes
Wow.
excrement. Feces. Shit, even. Nihilistic. And with a wicked sense of humor. His greatest desire is to eat the poo-poo. And of course, murder you and defile your dead body. I think there's a lot we can learn from Dung Eater. But as a society, we're not yet ready for that conversation.
No. No,
builds.
no, we are
There's
not.
many builds. Strength is terrible until you realize you can power stance through the entire game and block everything else with barricade shield for 0 stamina. Going strength, unfortunately, puts you at the highest risk group for naming yourself the Black Swordsman and cosplaying as your favorite slice of life anime. If I see you doing this, I'll summon you intentionally so I can kick you from my world. Dexterity. Do you enjoy katanas? How about double katanas, each one longer than the last, using realistic, historically accurate sword techniques from feudal era Japan? What about epic PvP compilations? Say no more. Get a river of blood today. Intelligence. Some would say a great deal of their enjoyment comes from learning the moveset of every boss. A rhythmic dance between sword, swipe, and parry. A lethal symphony silenced only by death. Others would disagree. I'm confident that if you ask any player running sorcery, what's their favorite boss, they'll recoil in surprise and say, I don't know any. I just sit at the back and spam Azure Comet. Faith incantations are very good. Abusing the animation of Catch Flame to cast them instantaneously is even better. And before you say it,
bonk.
I know.
That bonk
it's
sound.
Working exactly as intended. You know what else is intended? This. Also this. And this. My greatest enjoyment of this game,
Did he just
beyond
stab
the
that dude in the
exploration,
butt?
the richness of the graphics, and the scale of the world they made, has been abusing every mechanic I possibly can before it gets patched out. And so, inevitably, I've
why
taken
wouldn't
to
you?
abusing other players. You might call them humans. I call them people who use Moonveil unironically. And thus, I feel no remorse for any of my actions. In summary, Elden
Ouch.
Ring attracts many different responses. Some fillet the long shaft of FromSoft endlessly. Others hate it because of their own incompetence. Walking manifestations of a Dunning-Kruger effect, these people believe that failure is not their own and somehow inflicted upon them by the universe. You can't be bad at video games, as video games are merely a subject matter. No, that is a deficit in your cognitive ability, something that likely plagues you in every aspect of your life. In summary, if you're bad at video games,
curious how
you're
he
bad at
got
life.
there.
You've got a smooth
To
brain
that point.
and a low IQ. Your fate is to be a grunt in the New World Order. And then there's others, like me, who are quietly waking up to the fact that maybe we should have never dropped those bombs to begin with. I guess what
no.
I'm trying to say is Elden Scrolls 10 out of 10 garbage. I love it. As always, more
Oh my
content to come,
gosh.
so stay tuned. If you're interested in some merchant multiplayer, password Fug Hunt goes in all fields. First 52 Invade get a 15% off their first month of FugHunters.com, the official sponsor of this video. And now, allow me to conclude this presentation with some calming visuals.
You're a
Rest
difficult
assured,
cat.
most of the things seen here can no longer be afflicted on another human being. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all
Oh my
truly
gosh.
wonderful. Have a good one.
Oh.
Yeah. Get out of here with that shit, man. Yo, you don't know me and you don't know I'm going.
Oh my gosh, cat.
You're a
Yep.
madman.
All right. All right. That's, yep, that's all I needed, baby.
It's amazing.
Calling Hideo Miyazaki at 3 a.m.
What?
Hello? 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 Hideo
不用
Miyazaki?
谢谢话，不用谢谢话，但我的谢谢，要大家到谢谢别人，never call that number again，不用。
Hey.
Oh, I didn't mean to restart it. Alright. Yeah, he does really good videos. I think the first one of Seth's that I ever saw was for a dwarf game? I just forgot the name of it. I just forgot the name of it. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because I'm pretty sure it's still on the computer. Yes, Dwarf Fortress. That is the first one of his I ever saw. He does really good work. There was also there was another one where I forgot the name of the game, but they ended up taking over like the storage area in the game. So that was pretty funny. Yes, Space Station 13. I'm glad you know what I'm talking about because clearly I do not. But yeah, he does wonderful work. I love his videos. His reviews are great. Sometimes very over the top, but great. Great.
I see beyond the sea. Oh, Captain, can we find where the treasure be? I see beyond the sea.